Hey folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. Checking everything out, looking at where the S&P's at right now. It's down 6 points. We got the Russell down about 3 right now. Nasdaq's down 8. Copper is currently heading up a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a small move up right there on the day from yesterday's settlement. We got gold currently down $14 on the day. Silver is down 1% as well as gold. We got natural gas up over 1.5%, almost 1 3/4% there now. We got oil currently down over 1%. Some big moves in the commodities there. We got corn down $7. That's a 2% move. We got soybeans down 8. So lots and lots of movement there. Going on into the FX market. Pound is getting nailed there, down 194 pips. We got the euro dollar down 32. The euro pound is up 84 pips on the day. Dollar franc currently up 19. Dollar yen's up 87. Euro yen is currently up 74 pips. Aussie yen's down 15. We have the dollar index. It is moving. It is up 0.5% on the day. And so just some nice moves. The bond market there moving as well. All right, let's check out where we're at. My goodness, this is some big moves going on. And let me open this back up. I had to do a little reset on a couple of things, but we'll get everything up and running now for us. But like I said, we had some real big moves, and I want to look at those and see just what we can learn from them, and if there's anything else sitting there that you might want to be aware of for the rest of the trading day. Maybe we can find a trade while we're looking. And going into today, did not have pound on the report today, man, but it had some massive moves, so I definitely want to be taking a look at that as soon as I get everything up and running again. We had a little technical delay, but it's going. All right. So loading up the charts, I'm going to pull up a pound-dollar chart over here for you and switch this one on up. But we also had some news this morning. We're going to walk through that news. We're going to make sure we have the entire week wrapped up. And there we go. So connected to the live data feeds. Everything's updating. And we'll be good to go. All right. Give me one more second. Just trying to get one last little click to work. There we go. Okay. So what do we have going on for this week? And already on the list, we're doing pretty good. It's got a pretty light week as far as scheduled news. A pretty light week overall, but that doesn't mean that there's not some major movements going on, and that's what I wanted to bring up for you. So let's go ahead and pull up the pound over here and look at where it's at on the day when you get movements like this. And down 2 deviations, not at 3. Were we at 3? We were close. We were close to 3. And just a massive move. It gapped, really, right over the weekend right there. You can see that. And right in there, we'll pull up, look at it, Thinkorswim. Anytime I see any kind of massive move, I'll go in, and I'll actually, if it's really big, I'll check and look at other platforms. I always have at least 2 platforms open at any given time on my computer, and that just, it's always good to have a backup. You never know if one's going to have an issue, mess up, and one of the number 1 reasons is just so I can verify if there is any inaccuracy in what's going on. And so as we saw, there's that massive gap on the pound dollar. Gap has yet to fill in. Made a little bit of a pullback, but then pushed on back down. And I saw a post from a trader. They were asking, what do you do when it's a lot of times we're looking at the 1 deviation moves. Of course, we've been getting a lot more than that lately. But what do you do when it busts right past those, and how do you trade them? And basically, you have to look at the volume and see, is it doing it with a lot of volume? If it is doing it with a lot of volume, then you'll go, okay, well, how can I take advantage of that? And there's a lot of ways to take advantage of it. But you're just going to move your deviation down. So what that means is I'll go in here and go, okay, well, 1.5 is my new deviation level, and so I'll just start, looking at that as a new deviation. As it moves down, moves up, everything else down to 2.5, like right here in the middle, okay? Bounces on back up, comes on back down, same level. But when you got a lot of volume, there's a lot of commitment in there, then, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's going to bounce off the 1. Obviously, it's past the 1. And so you just keep trading. It doesn't mean you stop trading. So when I stop trading is when it's going into the 1 deviation level, not when when it bust through it, or I mean actually it opened through it, right? It gapped through it on Sunday. So if it busts through with a lot of volume, if it gaps past it and it's down past it, obviously it's just like a reset. So you could almost even go back to where it opened up at, and that's like your new settlement price right there. So just treating that, which would be about at 1.5 deviations. So there's a lot of ways you can play it, but that's really the simplest way, is just treat it, like it is in itself, just like that new open is a new settlement price, because it gaps so far down with the market right there. But there's lots and lots of volume for us to be able to go in and use, and so there's a lot of ways that we can take advantage of them. Let me see if there's another chart I can pull up over here. We'll look at this. We could even open up maybe a diagnostic chart on this and check it out, but we just got some really good moves. And again, most of that, the reality is most of that was obviously a gap, but there's been so much volume on it that there's been some really good solid trends as well that you could take advantage of while you're trading. And let me see what I got here. Pulling up a few things. Gold has been just in a nice trend. We can look at that as well. So oil sort of trended down a little bit this morning for us, but then just sort of bounced right up off of, been going flat. And let's see, what else do we have? All right, so I'm opening up that chart. While I'm opening that one up, let's go ahead and check out gold. We'll look at that. It's coming up here on expiration. Maybe we'll find something. Okay. And see what pops up for us. And then while that's opening up, there we go. We're sitting down there right now, bouncing off a 2 deviation level. So, if you were trading that and you were still short, you definitely want to use a little caution there, being right at that 2 dev level. And would often, obviously, be a point where the market would tend to pull back. And so let's see here. Just looking at all this. Seeing what we got, but it's just been a nice, perfect trend. You can't ask for a better trend. Perfect shorts going all the way down, pretty much all morning long. It started slowly trending down and then just sped up and gave you another entry potential past the 1 deviation level. Okay, we got volume right here. We broke down, broke through it, came on down, came on down. Now we're at the 2 deviation level, bouncing back up off that a little bit. Haven't had a total trend change on it, but have had some good moves. Looking on over, pulling up a chart on the pound. And let's see, let me turn on my expected volume over here. And let's see here, we'll put that on. All right, let's turn on the historical volume on this. And once we get that, go here, and we can go tighter, we can go large. There's different ways to do it depending upon how fast or slow the market's moving. And so just open up that pound dollar right now. I got it on 10 ticks. And come on, open on up. Trying to get that chart flowing for us. Takes a little bit of time sometimes, because I'm loading every single tick and recording every single piece of volume on it. All right. Well, while that's all going, and I'm getting these charts loaded up because I wanted to look and see if we could potentially pull off a gold chart. That was sort of why I was trying to pull it up, because if we can, then we might be able to do a gold trade right into expiration. So let's see if we can get that. There we go. We got the pound tightening on up. We got gold right there. Let's try to look at both of these. So pound, nice trend. Lots of momentum scalps taking place. So obviously you want a little smaller tick size on that, but a lot of momentum scalps happening. But let's go in, let's see if we can pull something off, maybe over on the gold market. And I'll open up the scanner and we'll pull up a potential trade. We'll see what's going on, see if we can put something together. Stay right there. All right, folks, so come on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. So just checking out gold right now, sort of seeing if we might be able to pull a trade off. And let me see what we got over here. Let's see, pulling up the gold contracts over on the binary scanner. You can get access to this again free right here inside of TFNN at TFNN.com. Just let me show you where that link's at if you don't know what I'm talking about. There's two links you need to be aware of. One of them is the Nadex banner link on the right side of the page. Just click on that banner. It'll pop it on up there, and you can log in. If you don't have an account yet, you can open an account for free. Right, just get open account for free. You can fund that when you're ready with $100 or more. Place one live trade or more. They'll actually extend a demo for you for 12 months or more. If you don't have a demo at all yet, and you just want to get that set up, just go to Trading Demo Trading Account over on the Nadex platform. Fill in your username, first name, last name, phone, email address. Click Apply for Demo. They're going to send you a password right away. You'll be able to log in and access that. No problem. Be able to get in there and get going. It says open to U.S. residents, but they are expanding it out to not only U.S. residents, but U.S. territories and to Canada and Mexico this coming Thursday. So Nadex is expanding out. That is the first expansion they'll be doing, and they'll be looking to add on additional countries. No timeline on that yet, but I know that is the first rollout, the first expansion. Basically, they're just trying to make sure, of course, they have the customer service in place. They got everything they need in place to handle the increased volume, and then they'll just keep increasing it out. So anyway, some cool stuff that's coming right there. Once you get that down, you're going to know how to trade on Nadex. There's a couple places you can go. One is if you're on their website, you can check out their education section. They got webinars. You can go to their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nadex. Lots of good videos there. You can also go over here to TFNN, check out the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer, also has the binary scanner and the spread analyzer and the tutorials and the ability to ask me questions. And so check that out. You can check it out for free. Be glad to help you in any way that I can, okay? But over here we can go in. We can actually scan for whatever we want to look for. And let's see what we might be able to find. We only got a few minutes left, so it might be a little bit late in trying to pull this off. But let's see here. We got gold going on. And let's see, what do I see? Not really anything on the 130. So it's like they're all taken up right now. Even if it's on the live. Yeah, it moved so far, it sort of blew past every single level. So you know what? That's okay. No trade. Move on and find the next contract. So and they have a lot more contracts showing right there on the dailies on live than they do on the demos. That's sort of interesting too. Okay. So anyways, but we go in and it's because we're down 2 deviations. The next available strike's 12.57. And let's see, 12. They got them 12. What do they got? 3 points wide, 21 up on live. I'm trying to see if there's something. What's different on demo? We're going down from 12.57 up to 13.05. And on demo, what are they doing? They're going from 12.57 up to 13.02. Oh, but they're a lot wider. Okay, well, looks like they're doing an update on demo at the moment. Okay. Anyways, we're just a few points off, so there wasn't anything there for us to take advantage of. Otherwise, we could have hopped in and potentially placed a trade. But that's what trading's about. You're going in, sort of fishing. You're going out there, you're looking, you're trying to find out what's available. So I want to have several different plays in my playbook. What kind of fish are biting? There's some good EPCs, ETCs. That's expiration premium collection, expiration trend collection. Momentum scalp, just short, like 2-3 bar scalps. Spike striker, which are short, simple reversals. I may go in for a little bit bigger scalp, profit popper to sort of get that pull back, sort of buying on the dips and selling on the rallies there. Just going for nice scalps on that when it comes on back to the area it just pulled back off of. I'll go for trend trades, reversal trades, swing trades, support resistance trades, etc. You go down the list and you can do them, and you can do them throughout the day, intraday. And you don't just want to have one system. You want to have several systems so you can take advantage of different market conditions as they're happening. We did have one spike striker right at the end. It happened right before the show started up, though. And it was a go long there, right there on the 5 minutes, broke eye, and expired profitable. So, but we didn't get one on this half hour. Maybe we'll be able to pick up another trade here in the next half. Stay right there. I'll be back right after this. All right. folks at least have a chart up looking for a potential trade on the hour. And so we got that one going. We get one other chart up and running on oil just on the sidelines. So that way, if something does come up, we'll be ready and we can take advantage of it. Okay? So we got all our pieces together. Now we just got to see if we can get a trade to form. And we might get one to go long right here on this hour. Let me see, or on this 5-minute section here. Let me go back over here and look. Let's see what we got. We got volume 886, 1687. Oh, that might put us a little bit short of being a spike striker right there. Okay. So, like I said, that might just put us a little bit too short on pulling that off and moving on up. It's like the only potential trade is if it does pop. I don't know if it's going to pop. If it popped on up, that probably at 92.30, buying at 24.50, selling out at 43 would probably be one of the best bets. But we got first it has to break. So, okay. With that in mind, let's back on up. Let's check out what we got on our news calendar. Put all the pieces together, and make sure you have your news plan ready for the week. All right, so here we go. Looking at today, let's pull the different pieces in. And I have a lot of this done for you, so hopefully you got some from last week, but I know some of y'all may have missed last week's show, and I want to make sure you got it. Okay, so for today, let's pull up last night. Over here, I'll get that going. We'll get a new chart. We'll start flipping through these charts and get that up on air. And there we go. Okay, so, and then let me delete a couple things, make this a little easier for us to all read, and we can check it out. Let's start on the Frank CPI that came out last night, just to catch up on the news we got for the week. So right there on the dollar franc, the report came out at 3:15 this morning. We weren't really looking for a massive move off of it. We're getting a nice move off the dollar franc this afternoon, though. So it's a little bit of a surprise rally it going right in. Basically, it's the dollar just carrying it. But we go on back and look what we had going on last night. Lots of little spike strikers going on. And we were looking for, what, an 11 p.m. entry. We're taking that to 7 a.m. And let's see how that turned out. We have 11 o'clock. It flew up 15 pips, pulled on back by 7 a.m. to a mere 2 pips. We're looking to get $25, about 12 bucks, 13 bucks on each side, give or take a few dollars, okay? So you may have got 20, 22, 28. You may have layered into the trade. With that trade, a $25 minimum profit, that would have basically been a $23 profit if you get the full 25 bucks on it. Again, you could have done, 1, 10, 20, 100, whatever. And again, what this is doing is going in and it's selling this upper spread right here. Okay, so you're selling this one, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, and then you're buying this lower spread down here. All right, so we buy the lower one, sell the upper one. That's pretty simple. Okay. And then basically it's like you're buying it for 25 bucks. If you're going in for $25, let's just say $12 below, so like 93, 10 or so. And if we take that center, 93.15, I have to say 93.25. Okay? Maybe a little less than that. And basically what that means, if it stays within this range, then you'll be more than profitable. If it actually went up 25 pips, so you can take that from 9 through 15, you add 25 to it, you're going to get 25, 35, 40. If it stays within that range on the way up, or you go 15 down, you're going to basically go down to, if you got 25, you're going to go down to, what, 92, what, 90? Right there. If it stays in that range, then you'd be profitable on the trade. Oh, that's a massive range. And I mean, that's even better than the 1 hour expectations. That's looking across the entire time frame. And you could go in on these trades. You can make boxes that are like 11 to 7 that are 8 hours with a 1 hour offset or whatever offset's required. And then you can see even what the expected range is, the high to low, the close to close, even set up iron condors based just on that, not just on the news. So you can use the expected ranges beyond the news report to help you really master how to do these iron condors. And that's those, those little boxes that are auto plotting right there on the chart there inside NinjaTrader. And but I plot all those out to basically get an idea of where the market's going. But by buying that spread, that lower spread, and selling that upper spread, then we are collecting premium, and we're able to put all the different pieces together so that way we can do a range-bound trade during what is expected to be a very flat time, even with a news report. The advantage of doing it with a news report is you get the increased implied volatility. That's expected movement. More expected movement means more implied volatility, means more expensive options, which means that you can take advantage of that. We also had a couple other trades, so that one would have worked out great. Let's look over at our dollar CAD setup, see how that one came out. And on the dollar CAD, we're looking at an 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're looking for a $25 profit. And so if I go and I measure this from 8 to 10, we got a 9 pips of movement on it. Perfect. So well within our 25 pip or less expectation, and really just doing its job. And again, to expand that out, you could always go in 8 to 10. You could go, hey, what's a 2 hour expectation at this time anyway? And so you could use that to help you make tighter butterflies or condors, put pieces together. Obviously, we got a lot of movement right here in the afternoon on the trades. What do we got going on tonight? Tonight we're going to have the Aussie dollar home loans, okay? So the Aussie dollar home loans, the iron condors and butterflies we got going on for Nadex right here. And what we're looking at is an iron condor for the Aussie dollar entering as early as 6, going to 11 o'clock for a minimum profit of $30. This one is a little bit larger. A couple times a year it will go like 50 or 60, okay? So it's more, we're definitely using the probabilities, profitability combination. We do expect to lose on a couple of them. Of course, you always do, but we expect a couple of them to actually move quite a bit. But we expect a lot of them to stay very, very flat. And anyways, that's our setup for tonight, entering at 6 for an 11 o'clock expiration on the 9:30 Aussie dollar home loan report. And got that on here, right there. Moving on over to Tuesday. The next trade we'll be looking at is going to be a little bit later this evening. We're actually going to start at 11 o'clock. It's for the release coming out at 4:30 a.m., the pound manufacturing production report. And that's going to be entering at 11 for a 7 a.m. expiration for a minimum profit of $30 on that trade. Again, that's the pound manufacturing production report that's going to be released at 4:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning, right there with an expectation of 0.3%. Going into the rest of the day for tomorrow, we have a lot of just be aware, important events, things happening. We got Governor Carney is going to be speaking at 4:30 in the morning, so obviously that can impact the news. We're also going to have the pound nicer GDP estimate report coming out. That can have a definite impact. It'll be a little bit interesting. It's coming out at 10 a.m. in the morning on the pound dollar. Then we're going to roll into pound manufacturing production. And not just the trade balance, but the manufacturing. Let me pull that back up. And, yeah. So, but on this one, on the one right there, for the 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., with that trade report. Okay. And then we got that's actually going to go into the next day. Let me show you that one right here because that's rolling on over. And then we got the weekly weather crop bulletins coming out in the afternoon. Okay, and let me see on that report. I just want to double check something on one of these news reports. And, okay, so we're good on that. We got that report put together. Okay, let's look at Wednesday. What do we got Wednesday on our report? Because it's a pretty light week. We got a weekly oil inventory coming out. Going to be looking for spikes, tracker reports. Potential expected range trades, 30 and 90-minute expected ranges as well for potential iron butterflies, iron condors, strangles, straddles. New Zealand's going to have their cash rate. That can affect your Aussie pairs. So be aware of that. That's coming out Wednesday at 5 o'clock. They'll be releasing their interest rate, okay? Announcement, just their Fed funds rate. Going into the evening, we're going to have the Aussie employment and unemployment rate. Maximum risk of $35 on a straddle. So looking to enter as early as 6. Port comes out at 9:30. Could enter as late as 9 o'clock on that trade. And let's see, just adding that note for my own notes there. So as late as 9 p.m. So basically looking at getting at 60 pips of movement or within the first 15 minutes, whichever comes first. We're going to use a trailing stop every 5 minutes. There's the bar move, 5 minutes closes, boom, trail your stop, every bar to keep you getting back all your profits, trying to help from a winner turning into a winning trade turning into a losing trade. Again, we're going to close the trade. Let's see here, no later than, I got a typo on that, 9:45. So, let's see, so no later than 9:45 p.m. All right. So, like I said, just getting my notes all down for my news reports this week. Then going into, we got China Cpi and Ppi reports, and these can impact the Aussie and the yen quite a bit. And so let's see, impacts Aussie and impacts the yen. So just be aware that those could be coming up, and you want to have that built into your news calendar. So that way, if you are trading around that time, that you know that China's going to be releasing the reports. Okay, going on into Thursday, we're going to have our natural gas inventory report. And so right here, natural gas coming out. We got Spike Striker again on that. Inventory, if it's higher than expected, usually it drops. If it's lower than expected, usually it rises. A couple of the links that you may want to use on these. Let me show you over here. If you go to Forex Factory, has them. A lot of sites have them. But just good ones to have. See, I'm going to add this into mine as well. It'll be the same link every single week. Okay. And basically you just open that up and it'll show the latest release. And you're going to look at the third paragraph. Okay. And the first and second sentence, okay, are the two important sentences really out of all of that combined. Those are the most important sentences on that report. You got the same thing going on for Thursday for natural gas storage. Click on that. And let's see here. See if did they change their link? Let me see here. So we got that one, and then looks like they may either auto forwarding it or they changed it. I'm not sure if which one they're doing. And then what you're looking at on that is we just look at the report and go, okay, well, what was the report? What was the expectation? How did it come out? Well, last week we had an expectation of 72 billion. So just find that 72 billion, or British thermal units, on the report. And then you'll know sort of what you need to be looking at. So 72 is the expectation. By the way, when it came out at 79. You'll see that 79 right there. And let's see here. First sentence on the first paragraph. Most important. Okay? One to look at out of the entire group. All right, well, we got a couple more. We got your industrial production. We also have some core retail sales reports coming out this week. We'll cover those when we get back right after this. All right, folks, come on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And let's see here what we got going on. And just got an oil trade on, sort of in and out, though. It was a fast trade. So 55 contracts, man, that was quick. Okay. Sorry, I was wanted to do the trade there, but you always got those commercials coming up, right? All right, so we got natural gas storage and got that one wrapped up for the week. Hopping on over to Euro Industrial Production Report right here, and we'll be going into that next at 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so this report is going to be coming out at 5 a.m. on Friday, so that's going to be at 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I got to fix that. Okay, like I said, I want to go through and just catch it up for the week. And let's see here. There we go. So anyway, so 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. release comes out at 5 a.m. And it was early as 11:47. I got it right down here. It's not up here. And we're looking for a minimum profit of $15. It's a very, very, very small move. Hopefully we can get more than that out of the trade. Rolling on over. Looks like we may have annual crop production reports coming out this week. Be very aware of this. If you are an ag trader, if you're trading the corn, the soybeans, wheat, etc., all those fun ags. And let's see here. Let's open these up. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so we'll be having a report come out at noon on Thursday. So very, very important report for the ags. It usually has a pretty big move. And so you're either going to have either some great straddle or strangle opportunities, or you're going to have some highly inflated premium for some potential iron condors or iron butterflies. And again, that is going to be this Thursday, okay, on the 11th, released at 12 o'clock. Okay, so that's the waved crop production report. And let's see here. We'll go on in. We'll have the U.S. core retail sales coming out at 8:30. Looks like that's going to be on Friday. Going to be our next major impact report you're going to want to be aware of right there and trading that. And core retail sales, U.S. retail sales, both coming out at 8:30 on Friday the 12th. We'll be looking to find iron condors on the euro-dollar, entering as early as 8 with an expiration of 10 a.m. for a minimum profit of $25 on that trade. So giving you all the news trading setups for the week. Let's see, what else do we have? Anything else we can do here? Governor Corrado is going to be having a little speech on Friday at 2:05 a.m. That obviously impact the yen. So, obviously just, again, be aware event. And let's see what else we got. Got some crop progress reports afterwards, but that is it. That is our news trades for the week. We're caught up now on that for the week, which is cool. We'll get ahead for next week, and then hopefully later this week we'll be setting up some pretty sweet little trades. Would like even to go in and maybe talk about that crop report on Wednesday before it comes out on Thursday to give you some ideas on potentially how to play it. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you here tomorrow on the Diagnostic Trading Hour right here at TFNN. You have a great day, and stay tuned for another great show coming up right after this.